Okay, hi everyone. So today we're going to go over the difference of two cubes as well as the sum of two cubes. Okay. So these are our two definitions we're going to look through today, and these are straight definitions. You just have to memorize these and then learn how to apply them when applicable. So if I give you something that says something very simple, let's say x cubed minus 8. Okay, you can tell that these are cubes because you can say x times x is x cubed, and then 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. All right. Now, we've learned something called a difference of two cubes. Oh, two squares. I'm sorry, difference of two squares. Where this goes, if I see x squared minus 4, or x squared minus 9, or let's go a little fancy, 4x squared minus 25. X squared is a cube squared, and 4 is a squared. X squared is a squared, 9 is a squared, and 4x squared and 25, they're both squares. It turns out you can break this up, a nice factor, as a plus and minus. X plus 2, x minus 2. X minus 3, x plus 3. And it doesn't matter if you write the plus or the minus first in order. And then the last one was 2x plus 5 and 2x minus 5. Okay. So that's the rule for difference of two squares. But when it comes to a difference or sum of two cubes, it's not going to be that easy. So here's what the answer is going to be. Let me just write that for you. It's going to be x minus 2, okay? So we're going to take one from each. It's almost like I'm at the market. I'm just picking up an apple and some broccoli. Okay, I just pick one from each. And if it's negative, it stays negative. Okay, negative stays negative. The rest of the pattern is going to be used to get rid of to match up. So first, what did I multiply x by to get x cubed? That's going to be x squared. So square the front. What did I multiply 2 by to get the 8 in the back? I'm going to multiply by a positive 4. And to get the middle term, it's actually pretty easy. You just got to combine these two together. 2 and x is just 2x. And in this case, it's going to be a positive 2x. So here's the pattern for the minus version. It's going to be a cubed minus b cubed. The pattern will always be a minus b. We're just going to take one from each. If it's negative, it stays negative. And the rest of it's going to be, to catch up, I still need an a squared in the front. I need a b squared in the back. And it's going to be a negative times a positive, so that's going to be positive. And we're going to say a plus ab. This is a straight, remember how to do this, okay? Problem. Remember this. Okay, so let's give ourselves another example. I'm going to switch this to 8x cubed minus 27. All right? Is this a difference of two cubes? Sure. Actually, you know what? Let's do this next example, and I'll come back and I'll refresh. So 8x cubed. Tell me, what did I cube to get 8x cubed? I cubed 2x and 3. Are you guys okay with these other numbers? 2x and cubed? 2x and 3. So the pattern is you take one from each to start. So I take one from each. That's going to be a 2x minus 3. I take one from each. That's our a and b. Some people might want to write a is equal to 2x and b is equal to 3. So we plug in our a and b. Well, we have to, I mean, you can memorize the rest, but we can kind of make it up. 2 times what is 8? Because that has to be the front. 2 times 4x squared, right? And really you are just squaring a. This is really a squared. In the back, 3 times what is 27? 3 times 9 is 27. That's going to be a positive 27. That's going to be our b squared. And how do we get the middle term? We just multiply these two terms together. So it's 3 times 2 is 6x, and it's going to be a plus. So the hint for these, for both positive plus and sum and difference, we're going to actually only use one negative sign for both. Only one negative sign for both. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it one more time. I'll make this a little bigger number. We're going to say 27 x cubed y to the 6 minus, let's do 8 z cubed. Okay, this one looks really ugly, but take a look. Is this a cube? 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So that's right, our singles is going to be 3xy squared. And if I cubed it, we would end up with what we have on our front term. In our back term, this would be 2z. And then if we cubed it, we'd be up on top. So our a value and b value, a value is going to be 3x y squared. And our b value is just 2z. This is straight, just following the rule. So the rule is we copy a minus b, because if it's negative, it stays negative. Negative, it stays negative. And the rest is going to be positive. A squared plus ab plus b squared. Okay, so we're looking at 3xy squared minus 2z, right? That's our singles in the front. How did the y change? Oh, so it's y to the 6 is really y squared times y squared times y squared. That's how we ended up with y to the 6. In the back, let's go ahead and finish up the rest. It's going to be 3 times 9, and we're going to need the rest of it, x squared and y to the 4th. Or you could also say this is just a squared, which is 3xy squared squared. That becomes 9x squared y to the 4th. Oh, where did I get the 9? Because if you look here, you always square that original a value. You square that original a value. And then the back value is 2 is 4z squared. 4z squared. And then we're going to, that's going to be a plus. And the last one, we're just going to combine the front and the back together. So 3 times 2 is 6x y squared and then z. 6x squared y squared and then z. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's look at another one. Okay. So I'm going to make this one more ugly one. Let's see if you guys can do it. It's going to be 125 x to the 6 minus 27 y cubed z to the 9th. That looks kind of terrible, right? But does this fit our definition here where they're cubes? Where did you get the x square for the x? Where did I get the square for the x? Is because it's a squared. So we took 3xy squared and we square it. So that becomes a 9x squared y to the fourth. All right, so here's the next problem. Go ahead and see if you guys can do this one yourself. Here's one of the hints. Just write down what your a value is. Not a cubed, just what's your a value. That's going to be 5x squared. In the back, that's going to be 3yz cubed. Right? So once we know that, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a lot easier. All right, let's see if we can get it. So first one is free, right? First one's free. That's a minus sign, stays minus. The rest, we're going to have to square the front, square the back. That's going to be 25x to the fourth. And the back is going to be 9y squared z to the 6. Same plus. So usually what the trick is, I'll just use these values here. I square and I square. And the middle numbers, we're going to have to combine these two. That's going to be a plus 15x squared y z cubed. X squared y z cubed. Wait, whoops. Isn't it z to the fifth? This is an x squared, and that's z to the third. So they don't combine. So it'd be x squared y z cubed. On the very right. If I say z cubed squared, that would be z to the 6. That's a 6. I'm sorry. That's a 6. And wouldn't z be the fourth for 15? Or x to the fourth. No. So for the middle term, you just combine the two. You're just combining the salad. Just combine the 3 times 5. No, 5 times 3. And then the x squared, y, and z cubed. Just combining those together. That's why the pattern is a minus b, then a squared plus, just multiply a and b together, plus b squared. That's what the pattern is. No, we only square the front and we only square the back. That's it. We only square the front and we square the back. Okay, we only square the front and square the back. Okay, how did you get the 5x squared and the 5x squared? Okay, so the way I got the 5x squared is you take a look at the front term and the back term, and you're saying, if this is really a difference or sum of two cubes, what was the original value before I cubed it? So to get 125, that was 555. And to get x to the 6, that was x squared, x squared, x squared. So that's squared. Same thing for the back. The way I got 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. And then the y cubed is y, y, y. And the z is z cubed, z cubed, z cubed. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those cubes. This rule only works if it's a difference of two cubes. It only works if it's a difference of two cubes. All right, so how does the sum of two cubes work? that's a little different. So the reason why I teach the difference of two cubes first, because it's easy to see a negative becomes a negative, okay? Now, the sum of two cubes, okay, you know what? I also only want to do one more thing. I want to prove that this works, okay? Let's give you guys a kind of easy one. Let's say x cubed minus 8. All right, I want you guys to break this up. What is the factored form of this? X cubed minus 8. So hopefully you guys can do this a lot faster, considering we did some quite difficult ones. So the front's going to be for sure just x minus 2. We just take our front and take our back. That's the front. Then we're going to square the front, square the back. Now just to remind you why we have to square it is because x times x squared has to become x cubed, and 2 times 4 has to become that 8, right? The front has to become the front, and the back has to become the back. And the middle term is just combining these two. Combine those together, that's going to be a plus 2x. Now, this is just a general rule, especially if I haven't proven it to you that it works. Let's go ahead and prove it. I'm going to multiply x, 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 and 2, 2, 2 out. And I want to prove to you that it's actually going to give us our original problem, x cubed minus 8. So if I multiply the x first, it will be x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4x. I'm going to multiply the 2, negative 2x squared minus 4x minus 8. I want you guys to look at these terms right here. You're going to notice that, hey, they're going to actually cancel out. And that's why we need a plus and minus. Just like before with difference of two squares, the plus and minus cancel out the middle term. The plus and minus here will cancel out these middle terms also. So these all go away, and we're left with a simple, nice x cubed minus 8, where we started from. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do the plus version now. So what if I change this to x cubed plus 8, all right? X cubed plus 8. What will the factors be here? First thing, I want you guys to verify that this is a cube. That's fine, Alberto. It's going to be x and 2. Those are my cubes. X times x times x, and 2 times 2 times 2. All right, everyone's go with that? So literally the pattern does not change. What's going to change is our plus and minus signs. But take a look at the pattern like we said before. It's going to be x and 2, just like what we said before. That's our a and b. Our a and b. But here's our trick. If it's positive, I want you guys to reinforce this. It's going to be positive. If it's positive, it stays positive. Okay? So now I just got to sneak a negative sign someplace in this problem so it cancels out all the middle terms. To get x cubed, we still need to multiply by x squared. To get 8, we still need to multiply by 4. So we still square the front and we square the back. So a squared and b squared does not change. That part does not change. And just in case you forget, isn't a positive 2 times a positive 4 a positive 8? So this guy here in the back is not a minus sign. So you don't get the minus sign, but someone has to get it. Someone has to take the fall. And that's our middle term here. So our middle term is always we always combine these two. That's going to be a negative 2x. 2 times x is just 2x. And it's going to be a negative ab. So I'm going to rewrite both versions here next to each other, and I want you guys to see the similarities and the differences. For a cubed plus b cubed, we just said this would be a plus b, positive stays positive, and then we're going to fill out the rest. It's going to be negative ab. But for a cubed minus b cubed, the difference is this will be negative stays negative, and everything else will be positive. Okay, so take a look here to see the similarities and the differences. Someone asked, do I need a negative sign if they're all positive? And the answer is yes. Because if you look here, if I multiply this crazy circus here, if I multiply this circus, it'll just be a huge number. But when I multiply them, there is no middle terms. And the reason why is because that minus sign cancels out all the positive signs in the middle. So I'm going to do this problem here. I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out for you guys just on the side. If I say x, 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 it'll be x cubed. minus 2x squared plus 4x. I want you guys to verify that. X, 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 right? Now I'm going to multiply everyone by 2. Multiply by 2, it's a positive 2, so positive 2x squared minus 4x plus 8. You can see that the middle terms all cancel out. So some have to be positive, some of them have to be negative. And the pattern is actually always the same. So we have only x cubed plus 8 because the middle terms cancel out. Okay, why the negative 2b? Okay. All right. So one cool thing is that this pattern is just the pattern that you memorize. If you see a difference of two cubes or a sum of two cubes, we use this pattern. Now, if you don't remember the pattern, you'll be screwed. But once we learn something called long division and synthetic division, if you do forget the pattern, you can always make up the pattern. I'll teach you guys how to make up that pattern. Okay? But for right now, what we're doing here is seeing that this pattern works just like the difference of two squares. It works for almost any situation where we do have these cubes. Okay, let's do one with a positive version. Okay, let's do 125 a to the 6 plus 8 b to the 8th. Okay, let's go ahead and see if you guys can factor this out. The first step is for you to say, what are the cubes? What are we cubing? Wait, whoops. My mistake. This one's going to be 9. I'm sorry, put that at 9. Put that at 9. It wouldn't have worked. Wait. Oh, shoot. Come on. My brain's not working. I'm going to change the exponents. That would have worked. The next one would have worked. Darn it. Brain's not working. This is going to be a 9. This one's a 9. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. This is a 9 in the back. So my front's going to be a5a squared. And this will be 2b cubed. All right, so if that's our front and our back numbers, go ahead and see if you guys fill out the rest. Remember, positive stays positive. And the middle term is going to be negative. Okay? The positive stays positive right in the front. In the back, we're going to see that's going to be squaring it. So 225 a squared becomes 4. In the back, in the far back, it's going to be 4 b to the 6. It's going to be positive. We need a minus 10 a squared b cubed. So a couple ways you can actually write this down here and look at these together here. Or I oftentimes just use these numbers here. I think those are the easiest. As long as you set up your first term, everything else should be a lot easier. Okay. All right. Now in iExcel, that's what you guys are going to be working on today. It's really much these same skills. Also for iExcel, you guys are going to also be factoring all these different types. They're going to give you a mixed review for all the types of factoring problems that we've been doing in J. Right? Okay, I had a request for just one more time to go over the first term, how we got the first term. So the first term goes like this. If it's a cubed plus b cubed, we always copy it just a plus b. That's our starting point. So it's almost like that's the setup already. The rest is going to be a squared, b squared, and then minus ab. Okay. So I always use this as my key. That's our starting point. So we're going to find out what our a is and what our b is, and then we can go square, square, and then combine them to become the middle term. Okay, square, square, and then combine them to become the middle term. A lot of arrows here. So let's do the same problem again. 125 a to the 6 plus 8b to the ninth. What is the a value? What did I cube to get to 125a to the 6? That was 5a squared. What was it that I cubed to get 8? Well, that's 2 times 2 times 2. And b cubed is b to the ninth. So that's our starting point. Okay. Now that I know my a's and b's, I can square them both. 25, a to the 4th, in the back, 4b to the 6th. Right? It's as fast as that, really. Once you get used to the pattern, it's as fast as that. If it's plus, we know we need a minus sign, so I'm going to put the minus sign in the back. And then you just combine these two together. 5 and 2 is 10, a squared, b cubed. Easy peasy. The problem is you can forget it as fast as you learned it. So come up with a pattern for yourself that you can remember. And one of them I remind myself is, hey, if it's positive, it's positive in the front. If it's negative, it's negative in the front. And then if you're on a test and you're stuck, like literally come up with this, use this example, x cubed plus 8, okay? And say, okay, this is x and 2, x plus 2, okay? So we said for sure, x times what is x cubed? X times x squared. So I know I have half the problem, right? 2 times what is 8? 2 times 4. I know the back part is right. A positive times a positive. That has to be positive to get a positive 8. Okay? I'm just coming up with stuff along the way. And then I need a minus sign someplace. And we said we're just going to mix them. Minus. Now, once you make this guess, you can multiply it all out. X times x squared is x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4x. Double check with the 2. 2 becomes a negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 8, and you can see that, oops, that was a plus. All the terms in the middle cancel out. Oh, darn it, this was a minus. I'm not sure why I put plus here. All terms in the middle cancel out, and we're left with just x cubed plus 8. To help you with the pattern.